1996, 1999, 2002, 2006, 2010, 2013, and in 2016. It all comes together in an all-new Pokémon adventure. Pokémon Sun and Pokémon Moon.
Hello everybody, this is Espionic.
And I'm born to be a winner.
Pokemon is in its 20th year and there's a lot being done to celebrate it. Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow being released for the 3DS Virtual Console, mythical Pokemon distributions, special trading cards, digitally remastered Pokemon movies, official anniversary merchandise, Super Bowl commercials, the anime is closing in on its 20th season, just a bunch of things happening with Pokemon this year. But of course we have new games coming out this year, Pokémon Tournament for Wii U, Pokemon Go for mobile devices, and the latest in the main series, Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon for Nintendo 3DS, which was officially announced in the Nintendo Direct that aired right on time for the 20-year anniversary of Pokemon Red and Green being released in Japan. So, funny story about this game, the names of this were leaked the day before the Direct. I think it was you haven't been on the internet in forever, so that. But anyway, I think it was discovered that there was like a European trademark of the game. So how I was spoiled about that was I should have known better, honestly, but I looked on my YouTube subscription feed, and right on the very tippy top of it was Game Explain's video talking about, hey, this was leaked! And I was kind of annoyed with that. It's like, why did it have to be on the very top of my subscription feed? But anyway, I decided to avoid YouTube and gaming sites pretty much until the Direct aired, which made me a little more upset because there was actually a new trailer for Samurai Kagura Civil Versus yesterday, confirming its North American release date, so yeah. Well, what did you think of the announcement?
Wow. When did Pokemon X and Y first come out?
2013.
Wow, so it's been like literally
almost 3 years.
3 years. I was thinking, like, is this gonna be like a Gen 2 thing? Because Gen 1 and Gen 2 were effectively in the same area. Like, Kanto and Johto are neighboring region. Do you think there's going to be a neighboring region into Kalos?
Well, it's tough to say because there hasn't been much information on this game at all. The only thing that we can confirm so far is that in an official press release from the Pokémon Company International, they refer to these games, and I quote, as new generation of Pokemon Core Series games, which will apparently have new Pokemon in a new world. So this is a 7th generation. It's really not surprising. I actually figured this would happen because when the new Pokemon that was revealed, its English name I believe is Majourna. I might be butchering the name of that, but when that was revealed, people were speculating that meant that the 7th generation was imminent, but a lot of people were. There was a lot of debate about that. I noticed when Majourna was announced, and I was actually leaning towards it being that the 7th generation was imminent, and it's actually, and what made me think that was actually because of the anime, specifically the pacing of it. The current season being the XYZ season made me think that that would be the final season for that saga. And unless there was going to be a filler saga for the XY series afterwards, then Gen 7 was going to be the next set of games released. Because whenever there's a new generation of Pokemon games being released, the anime is always paced to coincide with the release of those games. And I looked this up. In the case of the Advanced Generation series, Diamond and Pearl series, and the XY series of the anime, they had their first couple of dubbed episodes of their respective series released in North America as an early preview to coincide with those corresponding games release. The games and the anime promote each other, so it really isn't surprising at all to have Generation 7 announced now, which means that the current season of the anime will be the last one for the XY series. So, I know you haven't really been following the news, but would you, like, sort of think that same sort of way?
Yeah.
So, this also essentially confirms that there isn't going to be a Pokemon Z. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I'm really not sure how that'll go. It probably just involves how they're going to involve Zygarde and all this. And I thought they might just made a sequel like X2 and Y2, because...
Well, here's the weird thing about these third versions of any set of two games that represents a new generation. These third versions always were essentially they took the best of both worlds for each version of the games at its time, and it started getting to a point where you would just expect it. You would just maybe wait until that third version came out, because, well, no, I guess this wouldn't really apply to Pokemon Yellow so much, mainly because you might not like the idea of having to be stuck with Pikachu and you can't evolve it, but with every other third version that's come out, you were probably better off just waiting for that version. You were probably better off waiting for Crystal or Emerald or Platinum. And I guess the people over at the Pokémon Company and Game Freak just kind of noticed that it might be better for us to create more of a incentive for people to buy within a new generation still. So that's probably why they made actual sequels to Black and White instead of a Pokemon Gray version like everybody predicted. And even though I love the third versions of each of those generations, like those are my favorite versions of each of those generations, I get why they would do this sort of thing, because like I said, it gets to the point where, like, why bother with Diamond and Pearl where you just wait for Platinum? So I guess
seriously, just get Platinum.
I think they decided that it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to just make a third version, because the third version of those games usually don't sell as well as the originals anyway. And I don't know, some people were kind of leaning towards the idea of having direct sequels to the game, but a lot of people were thinking maybe the 7th generation was anime because of Majourna, and for me, the anime, because the anime pretty much always tells that sort of story. What's going to be next for the games, because the anime is paced alongside the release of the game, so I think they thought, you know what, we should probably just skip right to 7th generation, because, like, I mean, they probably could have released a Pokemon Z last year, but I don't know, Pokemon was yearly at that point, and I think they wanted to give it a bit of a break, so I can imagine people being disappointed about not having a Pokemon Z, but what disappointed me more and shocked me actually is that they didn't show any gameplay of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. All they had was some footage of people working on the game that I'm sure Game Explained will somehow have a 20-minute analysis video of it.
Because goddamn, they pay attention to things.
One of the most interesting things to me with the names of these games is the themes and symbolism of the sun and the moon have been in previous games of the series. I mean, take Espeon and Umbreon. for example. Espeon is literally known as the Sun Pokemon, and Umbreon's the Moonlight Pokemon.
If you had two alone, the Sun and Moon was all represented by Ho-Oh and Lugia.
Yeah, in a way. And of course you have Solrock and Lunatone. You have Cresselia, which is essentially a lunar Pokemon. The Sunstone and the Moonstone. There's a landmark in the Kanto region called Mount Moon. It's been...
We can watch a Confederate dance on Monday nights.
It's been a fairly common thing in the games. So that kind of makes me wonder, like, I have this weird hope that Espeon would end up on the cover of Pokemon Sun, but I don't think that'll happen. I mean, if it did, then I would have to have Pokemon Sun just because of that. Well, actually, on the other hand, there's another Pokemon from Gen 2 that's known as a Sun Pokemon, and that's Sunflora. So
Sunflora is a punk.
And I'm sure people would rather have that as the mascot for that game. I'm sure people would absolutely have that. But yeah, that's all we really know about the games. Hasn't been much information confirmed at all. But the only other thing that we know is that it's scheduled for worldwide release later this year, and they have the option for 2 new languages: traditional and simplified Chinese. Now, it's kind of weird because, do you think, like, I haven't really seen people talking about this, but do you think that this might lead to it being released in China at some point?
Probably.
I mean, it's kind of weird because, well, not too long ago, I can't remember exactly when, but China lifted their ban on video game consoles, and I think at least Microsoft has been trying to hand in their market in the Chinese market without much success, because there's a lot of pirating in China for video games.
And their little black box screen, America. I don't mean America, I mean America.
I don't know. I don't think this necessarily confirms it, but if you're going to launch one specific franchise in China, Pokemon is about as big as you can get, so
yeah.
I'm not sure how well that'll work out for them if they do that, but I don't know, it might not end up to anything. Nintendo's, from what I can tell, been kind of slow and steady when it comes to entering the Chinese market, which makes sense because it has a lot of pirating in it, and even with their ban uplifted on video game consoles, they still have pretty strict regulations about what they'll allow to be played in their country or not, so yeah. But in addition to Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, they actually announced that the Nintendo 3DS Virtual Console versions of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow will be able to send Pokemon to Pokemon Bank, and you can transfer them to Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
Well, that means my Gyarados will go back to sucking because I taught it Bubble Beam.
One thing to point out is that the Pokemon from Red, Blue, and Yellow cannot be transferred to X, Y, Omega Ruby, or Alpha Sapphire with Pokemon Bank. You can only go to Sun and Moon, which I guess is fine. But by that point, by the time they have that ready, everybody will have Sun and Moon at that point, so it doesn't really make much sense. If they could just skip to the latest generation, that makes the most amount of sense. And it is really cool that they managed to do this, because Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, those games could interact with each other. You could trade Pokemon in between those versions.
Yeah, time travel.
But you couldn't, there was no bridge to gap Generation 2 to Generation 3 onward, because it wasn't possible for them to be able to transfer these Pokemon. But it is really interesting and really cool that you can do that now, because now people will they don't need to go to that Mew distribution event. All they have to do is hack Mew into glitch Mew into their game and then transfer it over.
I was like, they're gonna keep the Mew glitch.
They made a point of saying that they're going to try to keep red, blue, and yellow as faithful as possible. So
that means as broken as possible. Yeah, that thing is a glitchy mess when you look at it.
Yeah. So, do you have any closing thoughts on this?
So seriously, I wonder if they're gonna in Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, they're just gonna also do the hey, we just built this time machine and no one cared. If people who play Gen 2, Bill essentially made a time machine and everyone goes, eh.
Well, I don't think that'll matter because of the Pokemon Bank. Pokemon Bank ignores time. Actually, before I say, I just sort of, there's been sort of a theme with the last couple of regions in the series that they're based off of more real-life places outside of Japan. The first 4 generations, their regions were based in areas inside of Japan, and Unova was based on America, and Kalos was based on France. So, can you think of
in general?
Yeah, I guess, but they said specifically France.
But they had Stonehenge.
Well,
they had not Stonehenge there.
Anyway, my point is, can you think of a region that or area in the real world that you want to have represented?
Let's make a region based off of Minnesota.
I know where you're going with that. I'm going to stop you right there. I actually kind of had a weird thought going back to introducing the Chinese language. I wonder if it's going to be the new region could be based off of China in some way.
Probably. I don't think so. It could happen since they have Chinese simplifies Chinese and Chinese in general.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because... And I think the sun and the moon are symbolically important in Chinese culture, I think, so...
They have moon festivals to make moon cakes.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually wouldn't be surprised if the new region was based off of China at all. It sounds like the perfect type of atmosphere, considering that the games are called Sun and Moon. So, yeah, I'll predict that. I think it's going to be a region based off of China.
Without Minnesota, so we can't battle Vikings.
No. Overall, I'm just really happy to have new mainline Pokemon games confirmed for this year. Pokemon it's my favorite video game franchise of all time, and to say it reaches 20th year, it's an enchanting feeling. It really is.
Well, people said this was a fad.
Yeah, the fad that's lasted 20 years. I mean, the anime is about to reach its 20th season as well, which nobody ever thought would happen.
I didn't think this thing would go on this long, honestly.
I looked this up. There are about 900 episodes in the anime so far. So by the time it gets to the 20th season, it might reach 1,000.
Jesus Christ.
I would have loved Pokemon Z or a direct sequel to X and Y, but it's a new generation. There's still a lot of hype for that. So I guess that's it for this video. This has been Espionic.
This is Yoshi Power 4, and I want to be the very best.
Like no one ever was. Okay, don't continue this song. We'll see you all next time.
I forgot the rest, sorry.